Hey everybody, welcome. This is CoeShow 619. This is the first build series of the Fusion 700 by Blade. I hope you enjoy what you see. If you have any questions, please ask below. I'm willing to answer whatever you may need to know. Happy flying. And here's a little update on the first day as my wife is working in the office. Today, right now, we're just doing the frames. And here's a look at the stylish bearing block in the middle here. This will be the belt pulley. Really nice quality on everything. It's the motor with the mount that's on it. Super cool. Here's a canopy mount that I made that I can't do with my left hand. There you go. Push the button. The grommets work, but that's for flying backwards. There's Lou Dog. Anyway, it's going. Right now we're taking the screws out. The screws all come in everything. And basically you're gonna remove the screws here. I gotta remove the bottom ones now. And then we're gonna put this frame half on. Oh yeah. Okay guys, here's a note. On page 6, there's kind of a really small picture of the tail boom assembly here, and you'll see that it's kind of a vague picture if you really look at it as I shake the crap out of the camera. Basically, it's telling you go into here, and then you got all these lines and stuff. I learned this build in RC cars. If you just flip to a few pages later, let's go a few pages later. And then it just having some notes up. I did have it marked, and of course I pulled my marking out. Here's a better page. So page 12. If you jump ahead to 12, you'll see a way better picture here of how those boom clamps go in. And you'll see that they're notched and that there's 2 screws up on top. And the 2 screws on each clamp hold this little, this plate here. And then as I flip the frame around, you're gonna see that plate will fit there. Everything has its screws in it already, so if you just build one side at a time, you can't go wrong, because you can look at the other side and the screws are already left in it, and that's where the screws go. So voila, there you go. And it's starting to look like a helicopter frame. So page 6, we are complete, and we're moving on to page 7. But first, with the table flat here, I did it on the other table, but I'm going to show you. If you put this flat on some surface and you push down on it, it flattens everything on the flat surface, and then you tighten your screws. This way you get a perfect 90-degree frame. And I also stick the main shaft in there too, just so everything goes in really nice. And look at the thickness of that main shaft. There's my thumb, and there's the main shaft. There's a big thumb. So you've got some beef here. It's going to be very rigid. I like that. More progress. Another tip, the long screws that are in the side of one frame here are to hold in your servo. So don't be confused, because the other side here is the short screws. That's one note. And we've got the motor mounted now. It's a big motor. So in this clip, you're going to notice that I mounted the servo mounts backwards. Don't pay attention to that. Mount them opposite of what you see here. It's really robust. The machining is nice. Okay there guys, so right now we are on page 9 as I edit, and you'll see we put the battery sides in, and the schematics are kind of just pen drawings, so you really got to look hard. Again, if you just skip to the next page, you can kind of figure stuff out. That's what I've been doing, using heli knowledge of course, but if you're a beginner you can still build this. I would expect that you have some mechanical knowledge though, and then you're not just a 10-year-old kid, that you've had some experience with anything with the schematic. So basically the helicopter sits like this now, and I tend to like black landing gear, so I use some aligned landing gear and put it on there. And I happen to have some skid tubes that I made quite a while back, but now we're dealing with some black and chrome landing gear. You can do whatever you want with your helicopter. You know, it is a model and it's a hobby, and it should be personalized. So I just personally have black landing gear on everything that I have, and the ones from Horizon aren't in stock right now, so feel free, you know. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to try something different color. And so anyway, as you move through the manual here, the next part is the tail boom, and I gotta say, it's confusing in the manual of what they're telling us to do. They're telling us to pull the belt through the helicopter basically and leave it dangling out the back. And instead of that, again, we're gonna skip forward a couple pages, and you can see that the tail boom is gonna slide into there. So why don't we put the tail case on first and hang the belt, and then assemble the boom into the helicopter, and then put the main shaft in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Again, I'm holding this with one hand. I do have one broken hand, and I'm getting through it, and I can fly with that, so don't worry about it. And we're gonna go ahead and do this right now and just bring the belt through the tail boom, and we're gonna assemble the tail boom through it and onto the main gear and pulley. All right. Okay, guys. So after what I just said, I wanted to just clarify. We're gonna start on bags T1, T3, T4, and T5, and I'm gonna put the old tail case, which is here, on this tail boom, along with all the guts and the belt, and we're gonna run the belt through to this end. And the reason being also, guys, because if you travel, you're gonna want to pull your tail boom out and put it in a box and send it wherever you're gonna go. Sometimes I send my stuff to Germany, or I'm gonna send it to Ursha, or I'm gonna send it anywhere in the world. You're gonna want to take the tail boom out. It's just gonna make the helicopter half the size, and it'll actually fit in a box. So think about that, because that's what we're gonna do right now. So while I'm doing this, guys, if I go one-handed here, there's these screws that are in this. There are these set screws here. See that set screw? The wise man puts Loctite on everything. So blue Loctite, it does come with the kit. Let me show you a trick. This is a mat. This is a RC car mat that we work on. If you get a little blob of blue on your mat, don't worry. You just stick it on there, get it wet with some of that stuff, and then put it in the hole. Now we're going to assemble this shaft through the belt and the pulley, and we're going to make an assembly here. You see my fin's already mounted, and the tail case is in it. And there's Lexi. Okay. Yo, dudes and gals, there is these shims that come along with the tail rotor package, but as you can see, the pulley fits in there. It fits tight between the gears, so you will not need those shims, okay? Don't worry about it, man. Okay, let's show you a trick from many, many years of heli experience. The tail is now assembled. The belt is in there. The belt is running through the boom to the other side here. If you just, we want the belt straight right now, but if you just pull on it, on the top here, you'll see that the tail rotor moves forward because I'm pulling the belt forward, okay? So we know that the belt is not twisted in the boom. Plus, you can look down the boom if you had to, and you can tell that it's not twisted right now. So, next step. Without twisting the boom, I always come over here to this side. We are now on the left-hand side of the helicopter, and if you spin the main shaft, you see the little holes here? They're going clockwise. So that would mean the little geary here would be going clockwise. So take your belt, turn it, and now pull on it as if you're going clockwise. And look at the way that the boom go, or that the tail rotor goes. So I hang it off the edge here so I can do it one-handed. And you'll see the tail rotor is going counterclockwise, which is the direction you want. So there you go. Now we're gonna hold this and we're gonna assemble it into the rear part of the fuselage. Doing this one-handed. So now as I build on my kitchen table, you will see the belt is in the position that we just put it, and the tail boom is slid in. So now lift your main shaft and take your gear and loop it around here. Again, I'm doing this one-handed, and we're gonna slide it in. And that's the way a true OG does the tail boom, okay? So if you're having a hard time with that manual, I hope this helps you. Okay, here's another Snoop Dogg OG technique. You're gonna take your Allen wrench. This is a 2.5, a long one. And I'm just sticking it through the hole to line me up for that screw that's gonna go through there, just so that I don't freak out, okay? So you can use your screwdriver or your Allen wrench, just stick it in there. And the tail boom is on the helicopter. The belt is looped around. And if I was to turn this, it goes the way we want it to go. So right now we have a unit. I can move the gears because I have my screwdriver through there. That's how we get it lined up. Okay dudes, so I just installed that into the gear, but then realized it had some up and down play. You don't want any up and down play in your main shaft. So there's this little package, it's got some shims in it, comes with the main shaft. You're gonna put those, I just put 2 of them on there. We're gonna try 2. There's 3 in the package. 2 should do it. Let's see. Okay, so now we've pushed the tail belt up into the frame and we've looped it around the main shaft in the order that we just explained. And now the helicopter has got a boom. It's looking pretty complete. You can see how much easier that is to build your boom first and then stick it into the frame. The heli's very nice quality. The machining's really nice. I do wish it had a black main gear though. That's the only part that's white, but you're not gonna see it with the canopy on. And it doesn't do anything to flight performance, so who cares? Looks good. Okay, so this completes this part 1 build series. This is just the build of the kit. In the next video, we're gonna install all of the electronics, the speed control, and the flybarless system. There you go.